What's up, Raider Nation? We're right on the edge of training camp. And before the pads start cracking and the helmets start flying, we've got some serious news that every single silver and black fan needs to have on their radar. It's been a long offseason filled with build-up, speculation, and roster debates. But now we're finally getting into the heart of it, and there's a cloud looming that could have real consequences for this team as we head into one of the most pivotal camps in recent memory. Now, as hyped as I am for football to be back and to finally see these guys hit the field, we've got to talk about something that, frankly, isn't the most exciting topic. But it's one that absolutely matters if you care about the roster and the direction this new Raiders regime is taking. I'm talking about Charles Snowden, and yeah, I know that name probably doesn't spark the same kind of reaction as Max Crosby or Davante Adams. But if you've been paying attention over the past year, you know Snowden is one of those under-the-radar guys who's been grinding to carve out a role. And now, unfortunately, his status is up in the air at the worst possible time. Here's the deal. Snowden's got a court hearing scheduled for July 22nd. That's tomorrow. And the reason for that hearing goes back to a DUI arrest that happened late last year in December, specifically on the 10th. Reports are that his blood alcohol level was twice the legal limit. That's a serious charge. And whether fans want to talk about it or not, it's something that could have real ramifications as the team prepares to enter camp now. The team did put out a brief statement back when the incident happened, saying they were aware of the situation and were in contact with the league and local authorities, but beyond that, they've been understandably quiet. It's a legal matter, and when you're dealing with something like this, the NFL has a pretty standard way of handling it. Typically, for a first offense DUI, you're looking at a 3-game suspension under the league's substance abuse policy. That's what we've seen in the past, unless there are other aggravating factors. And right now, there's no indication there are. So why is this a big deal? Well, number one, Snowden is not a guaranteed roster lock. This isn't a guy who can afford any slip-ups, especially when we're talking about a new coaching staff trying to establish a culture and set a tone in year one of a fresh era. If you're on the bubble and you miss time, whether it's due to injury, legal trouble, or suspension, you put yourself in a really tough spot. And Snowden, despite showing flashes last year, is very much in that bubble category. Let's be honest, this isn't the first time the Raiders have dealt with off-the-field incidents, and that history only makes this kind of situation feel heavier. Ever since the Henry Ruggs tragedy, the organization has tried to tighten things up, preaching accountability, maturity, and focus. There have been other incidents too. Josh Jacobs had his issues behind the wheel, Roderick Teamer ran into trouble, Nate Hobbs had his own headlines, and now Snowden is the latest name added to that list. It's a pattern the team clearly wants to put behind them, and it's on the coaching staff now to reinforce what it means to wear the silver and black. Because here's the reality: when training camp starts, you want all eyes on football. You want every guy laser focused on the playbook, the reps, the chemistry, and the grind. You don't want distractions, you don't want absences, and you definitely don't want courtroom drama stealing the spotlight. And yet, here we are, with Snowden likely missing the very first day because he's got to be in court. That's not ideal. That's not the standard. And for a player who's fighting for his football life, it's just about the worst possible timing. Now, I know some people might think, well, he's just a depth piece. No big deal, but it's not that simple. First of all, depth matters, especially along the defensive line where injuries are constant and the snap counts pile up fast. Second, Snowden's not just a random camp body. He earned real reps last year, over 400 snaps, career-high 39 tackles, and a respectable performance considering the chaos surrounding the team last season. His overall grade from PFF wasn't elite, but it was solid north of 60, and let's be real, for a guy who went undrafted and had to scratch and claw his way onto the field, that's nothing to shrug off. And here's the other thing, the Raiders just released Carter Bradley, which means there's already one open roster spot now. Whether that ends up going to a new quarterback or another position remains to be seen. But if Snowden ends up suspended, there could be another spot in play. That's a tough position to be in when you're trying to impress a brand new coaching staff made up of guys who didn't draft you, didn't sign you, and owe you nothing. Every rep counts, and every mistake gets magnified. Despite all that, I still believe Snowden has a real shot to make this team. Why? Because the dude shows up and competes. Ask anyone in the locker room, Max Crosby, Tyree Wilson, anyone on that defensive front, and they'll tell you the same thing. Snowden brings energy, work ethic, and a mindset that fits what this team is trying to build. He's the kind of guy who might not wow you on the stat sheet, but he's going to give you 110% every day in practice. And that counts for something, especially when coaches are looking for dependable role players who can be trusted in key moments. Plus, let's not forget the state of the defensive line right now. Max Crosby is an absolute monster, no doubt about that, but he's been dealing with lingering injuries over the past couple seasons. Malcolm Koonce missed all of last year with that ACL injury, and Tyree Wilson's role might be shifting. Word is, he's been bulking up and could be sliding inside more often, which means the edge depth suddenly becomes even more important. And yeah, Christian Wilkins being out of his walking boot is great news, but until he's full go, you can't take anything for granted with this D-line. The Raiders have made it clear they're looking for tweeners, guys who can line up in multiple spots, handle different responsibilities, and bring versatility to the front seven. Snowden fits that mold. At 6'7" and 245 pounds, he's long, lean, and disruptive enough to hold his own on the edge, while also having the range to chase down plays in space. He's not a pass rush specialist, but he's serviceable. He's not elite against the run, but he graded out well last year, top 30 in run defense among edge defenders. That's a big deal for a team that struggled mightily to stop the run in too many games last season. Missed tackles? That was a massive issue for the Raiders across the board last year, and Snowden only missed 3 and over for 100 snaps. That's a rate of about 7% better than a lot of starters across the league. And when you're building a defense that's all about discipline and effort, guys who wrap up and finish plays are worth their weight in gold, especially when they can spell starters without causing a major drop-off in execution. Now, let's be real, Snowden's not Max Crosby. He's not going to lead the team in sacks or dominate headlines, but what he can be is a rock-solid rotational piece who gives you 10 to 15 snaps a game and does his job. Every good defense needs glue guys, players who know their role, stay ready, and bring consistency. Snowden has shown he can be that guy. So, yeah, this court case complicates things. If he gets suspended, which is looking more and more likely, the coaching staff has a decision to make. But I don't think they're going to cut ties right away. If they were planning to, they probably would have done it already. The fact that he's still on the roster tells me they're at least willing to see how this plays out. Maybe they're expecting a 3-game suspension and planning around it. Maybe they're giving him one last shot to prove that his value on the field outweighs the off-field concerns. And look, no one's excusing what happened. A DUI is serious. It's dangerous. It's irresponsible. But if Snowden has owned it, taken the right steps, and continues to show the kind of character and work ethic he's displayed inside the building, I think he'll get another chance. This team is trying to build something different under the new regime, something tougher, smarter, and more consistent, and if Snowden fits that mold, they'll keep him around. The other piece to this puzzle is competition, because let's not forget, roster spots are earned, not given, and when camp starts, every snap, every rep, every drill, it all matters. If Snowden misses even a few days, that's ground he has to make up. Someone else is going to step up. Someone else is going to flash, and in a league where jobs are won by inches, even the smallest slip-up can be the difference between making the 53 or heading to waivers. So yeah, Raider Nation, this is a situation to watch closely. It might not be the biggest name or the splashiest headline, but it's these little roster battles and legal twists that end up shaping how your team looks come September. And with veterans reporting to camp tomorrow, the timing couldn't be more critical. Snowden's court hearing isn't just a date on a calendar, it's a fork in the road for his career. And we're all going to find out very soon which direction this goes. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. There's a growing buzz in the NFL world that the Las Vegas Raiders could be on the verge of a blockbuster offseason, potentially reshaping their roster with some of the league's top talent. Rumors are swirling that the Raiders are eyeing major signings in 3 of the NFL's most explosive players, JALEN, RAMSEY, Von Miller, and TYREEK Hill. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the whispers around the league suggest the Raiders are aggressively pursuing these stars to finally push their team into serious contention. JALEN RAMSEY, widely regarded as one of the best shutdown cornerbacks in the game, would bring a game-changing presence to the Raiders' defense. His ability to lock down elite wide receivers and make critical plays on the ball has made him a cornerstone for whichever defense he's been part of. Bringing Ramsey to Vegas would instantly upgrade their secondary, offering a much-needed boost to a defense that has struggled to contain opposing offenses in recent years. Imagine Ramsey lining up against top receivers each week. It could elevate the entire defensive unit. Then there's Von Miller, a veteran linebacker and one of the most feared pass rushers in NFL history. Known for his relentless pursuit and knack for getting to the quarterback, Miller's experience and leadership would be invaluable to the Raiders. Despite some recent injury concerns, if Miller returns to his dominant form, he could be the catalyst that turns the Raiders' defense into a nightmare for opposing offenses. His presence on the field would also serve as a mentor for younger players, helping to develop a strong defensive culture in Vegas. On the offensive side, the possibility of TYREEK Hill joining the Raiders is perhaps the most exciting of all. Hill's electrifying speed and playmaking ability have transformed every offense he's been part of, turning routine plays into highlight reels. If Hill were to team up with the Raiders' quarterback, it would create a dynamic, fast-paced offense that could rival any in the league. The Raiders' offense could become one of the most explosive and unpredictable units, giving them a legitimate shot at contending in a highly competitive division. Of course, none of these signings are confirmed, and there's still plenty of speculation about whether the Raiders have the salary cap space and cap flexibility to pull off all three deals. But the very idea that Las Vegas is positioning itself to attract such high-caliber talent is causing excitement among fans and analysts alike. It signals that the Raiders' front office is serious about turning the team's fortunes around and making a deep playoff push. Whether these rumors materialize into actual signings remains to be seen, but the mere possibility is enough to create a buzz around the Raiders' off-season plans. If the Raiders do manage to land Ramsey, Miller, and Hill, the NFL landscape could look very different next season, and Las Vegas might just become the hottest destination for football fans hoping to witness a new powerhouse rising in the desert. The coming weeks will be crucial as we wait to see if this thrilling trio becomes a reality or remains just a tantalizing possibility. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.